A very, very good evening for everybody. Very good morning for people from Brazil, for all the participants. I would like to thank you, all of you, to be here today to talk about such an important topic that is gender equity. We know that we had a lot of advances in this field because women are gaining their space. They are studying a lot. They are working a lot. We know that the things are getting better, but we still have a gap of women in certain areas like the STEM areas, for example. So it will be a pleasure today to hear your views, to listen to you sharing your views about gender equity. So I'm going to call at first Claudia Mota Leon. It's over to you. You have 8 to 10 minutes to talk about this subject, please. Thanks for being here. It's over to you. We can hear you.
Yes. Do you hear me?
Yes, now it's okay.
I can share my screen.
Oh, of course. Just a second. Claudia, yes. Just a second, Claudia, please. See if it's okay. All right. It's visible.
Do you watch my screen?
Yes, it's visible. Thank you.
Okay. Voy a dar inicio, ¿sí? A mi presentación. Okay. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Um, I'm pleased to meet you all and share here a brief opinion regarding the impact of gender on health from my perspective, a feminist nurse. The name of my intervention is Gender Equality and Equality in Health Sector, the major text ahead. I'm Claudia Mota. I'm from Colombia. I'm a professor at the nursing school of Juan N. Corpas University, leader of the research line Women's Care and Gender for Juan N. Corpas University, and I am an activist in groups such as diverse and dissident nurses and nursing for the right to decide. I would like to start by telling you that it seems that talking about gender studies is a fashion. Even in universities, gender has become a research trend, but more than a fashion, it's a real need. Homophobic violence against women, gender inequality, gender stereotypes, sexism, femicide, and many other problems that require a social transformation. That is why learning about gender and incorporating it into everyday life is not a matter for women and people of diverse sexuality. Each of, each of us have our own responsibility. So, what is our commitment as health professionals? The first commitment, understand basic gender concepts. Let's start with the concept of sex. The meaning of this word is biological characteristics that differentiate some bodies from others. These differences become factors of discrimination. Gender, this is defined as the roles, behaviors, activities, characteristics, and attributes that a given society at a given time consider appropriate for men and women. These are learned through social interaction and generates opportunities or exclusions inequalities. Sex gender system, forms of relationship between women and men in society established under a system of power that defines different social conditions for women and men. Do the roles and functions socially same. uh, there is a sexual and social division of labor that establishes a female and male gender. Gender equality implies that the specific behaviors, aspirations, and needs of women and men have been considered and that these have been valued and favored in the same way. It does not mean that men and women have to become the same, but that their rights, responsibilities, and opportunities do not depend on their sex. This classification assigns women a reproductive role, the domestic space of unpaid work, some attributes of care and service to people, mediation, and subordination. On the contrary, this division assigns men a productive and paid role, which they develop in a public space where the attributes of power, responsibility, domination, and authority are a constant. Gender roles, tasks or activities that a person is expected to perform according to the sex assigned to them. Gender stereotypes, popular beliefs about gender related attributes and qualities that characterize a social group and lead to discriminatory behaviors or actions. Patriarchy or patriarchal is a social organization in which authority, power, and decision making is exercised by a male figure. It influences politics, economics, culture, and even family dynamics. Gender equality. This refers to equal right, equal rights, but with equal opportunities. It is necessary to incorporate measures aimed at compensating for the historical and social disadvantages suffered by women and sexually diverse people through affirmative actions. The second commitment recognize what the problems are. First, there are sexist constructions around condom use and the prevention of sexually transmitted infections. There is an exclusive attribution of family planning to women. Increase in sexual, physical, and psychological violence against women. There's a higher rate of suicide and violent deaths in men associated with the hegemonic constructions of masculinities. There is a naturalization of violence against women in health institutions, for example, obstetric violence. There is biased classification and association of symptoms and disease without considering sex gender differences. For example, the case of acute myocardial infarction. We can, they, we can then say that there are differences according to sex in health status and in care in health services. There is a different cultural and social construction for each sex, gender construction. There is a social hierarchy between the sexes, asymmetry of power, which leads to under-evaluation and discrimination of the feminine. The possible differences in health associated with sex and or gender can be discriminatory and affect the life and well-being of the people. So, what strategies can be implement? The third commitment, gender mainstreaming. This involves the integration of a gender perspective into the preparation, design, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation of policies, regulatory measures, and spending programs, with a view to promoting equality between women, people with diverse sexuality, and men, and combating discrimination. But how to incorporate it into the training of health professionals? First, incorporation of the gender approach in health training curricula designed and implement differential and inclusive health services, design and monitoring of university programs against gender discrimination, design and monitoring of university programs against violence and sexual harassment, creating mechanisms that promote the full participation under equal conditions of men and women in all academic process, and finally, generate space for analysis, reflection, and transformation where the current conditions of care profession, feminicide, and their association with gender inequality and inequality, low social status, poor paid, association with domestic service, etc., are discussed. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Claudia, ma'am, for your wonderful insights about gender equity. I think you presented very important things that are still happening with women, and this must stop. And we need to continue sharing information more and more for these things to go well, to be better for women. So, Mr. SK, you are here. It's over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Can you close the presentation?
Sorry, wait a second.
Dr. Claudia.
Wait a second, please. Oh my God.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Claudia. To be very honest, heart-touching topic on the screen. Gender presence. We take example at our workplace. At any moment of time, start from the schooling, home, and in the normal society. The thought behind choosing this topic, we have human relation as a brother, sister, wife, husband, mother, father. But as per the custom, society is still male dominance. We are discussing this project under guidelines of United Nations to create more awareness in terms of giving respect to female, giving them recognition to the society, giving them honor to the people, those who are doing extremely well in their area. I would love to invite another speaker from Brazil, Leonardo. We have discussed this. So opportunity for you as a male candidate are the topic which we are discussing. That is by example. or we are discussing philosophy, how we take it forward in terms of students and schooling. Welcome to you and over to you, Dr. Leonardo.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Singh, for the invitation and for the opportunity to be here. I think this is a very important topic. And, as a male member of the main role here will be to listen and to learn, and then to spread this. As men, we have to, first of all, notice that there is a problem, right? as was told, and then we have to stop being part of that problem, right? So I think that this is a very important fight, and a fight where we are not the protagonists, but a fight we are part of, and we have to at least stop being part of the problem. When we talk about this gender equality and gender equity in education, I teach in electrical engineering course, and this is the topic that I find very important, because engineering is an area that is completely male dominated, and the roots behind this domination, behind this complete disproportionate representation of men in engineering, traces back to further back, right? So PhD titles in mathematics began to be granted to women in 1870. That's many years after men started to receive PhD degrees. Later on, when women started catching up and started having some representation in the STEM areas, what happened was there were 2 world wars, and according at least to literature, and I cite here Claudia Henrion and Claudine Schmuck, and particularly Margaret Murray. Margaret Murray has a book called Women Becoming Mathematicians, post-war, and it's talk about this post-war polarization, where the main thing here was that, for instance, what was told to Amy Noether, for those that don't know, was one of the most brilliant mathematicians that we almost never had, just because it happened to people. What she was told, and I will quote here: "What will our soldiers think when they return to the university and find that they are expected to learn at the feet of a woman?" These are extremely harsh words, and nowadays we look at that and think, well, that's completely unacceptable, right? That's absolutely unacceptable. But that is the main line of thought in the 1930s and 1940s. Right? We started to spark this conversation, and hopefully we have women finally being able to reach these STEM areas that are very important in engineering, science, technology, and mathematics, but there is still a large disproportionate representation of men. And I think that a big part of it is that there is a belief that these are male areas. And this belief creates a myth. And this myth we have to fight for, because this myth not only perpetrates this male dominance, it also discourages women from joining these areas, which is very bad. I mean, when I have a female student, I know that she's there because she's extremely passionate about engineering, because it's not something that I have a lot of male students that, well, I don't know what I'll do, which is very normal when you finish high school. Right? I'm not sure what I will do. I'll join this engineering course, and then I think what I'll do. That doesn't happen with women. Not in engineering. If they join engineering, it's because they are passionate about it. because they know there will be prejudice, they know there will be discrimination, and it's so bad. We have, I mean, I'm thankful for being here and trying to learn ways of stopping that, of fighting that, because it's something that, for instance, in the case of Eminother, imagine if she was, if the thought of the time was able to encourage her, we would not have some of the most important fundamental theories of physics that are used nowadays for modern physics, for discussing parity and symmetry in the beginning of the universe. Those are all, we have mathematical tools to do that, thanks to Eminother, and we almost lost her due to pure discrimination. So I think that we have to keep this conversation, and I hopefully I will learn a lot more here. This is a topic that I study a lot because, well, I think it's very important
very well explained, Dr. Leonardo. You have touched two topics
about this.
I think network issue from his side. Okay, thank you so much. As a new speaker, I will take Dr. Dinah. She is on the screen. Dr. Dinah, as per the United Nations guideline, if we categorize for the ladies, for the females, once we talk about gender equality, right to education, right to food, rights to health, rights to protection, right to freedom. A lot of news always comes this. We are living in a common society. My concern to the society which are living below poverty line, where only male dominance is being reflected. Educated society, we are equally understanding concern, but lots of domestic violence is being done in the society. I would love to take your insight of domestic violence being done by male in the society. What is your take? What is your experience, and how we can take initiative to make people aware? Living on the below poverty line, less educated people, how we can overcome with such situation around the globe. I'm not talking about only Mexico. I'm not talking about only Brazil. I'm not talking about only India. I'm not talking about any national. This become a global problem where literacy rate is less, violence by male community to female is more. Normal situation. What we can do and how we look into this matter. Over to you and welcome to you, Dr. Dinah.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for inviting me. It's an honor to be here. And the insight, first, I'm going to talk about a little bit about the position or Mexico as I live in and in my own experience. Violence has been a main issue around Mexico, where worldwide, most countries recognize equal rights between men and women and have produced regulations intended to fight discrimination and programs granting women access to health, education, and economic rights, such as land ownership. But in the reality, this has been not well being granted for. So as a teacher, as a lawyer, I teach in elementary schools, and I can see the gender bias that goes into the sexism and the patriarchy still patronized into children. So what we can see here, if we rely on giving our students values, respecting just ourselves as human beings, we can produce a better society. Reflecting on this, although we are supposed to live in a country where gender equality is trying to be included, and not only gender equality or equality, but inclusion on minorities, on other type of, even types of learning is being included on education. But the thing is that as teachers, being in groups of more than 30 people, having different needs and individuality to each kid, it's really it's a problem for the teacher to be able to comprehend the needs of every child. So just taking them as individuals to traduce that or introduce them to the values of gender bias is difficult to give them the same opportunity. And you can reflect that in their family or in the familiar nuclei, where now the mom is taking out to become a workforce. It starts to disintegrate this nuclei. And instead of the politicians or trying to support women to reach or being the breadwinner or their houses or their household, they're just keeping children in schools without giving them a really great opportunity for women or as mothers to be the breadwinners of their home. So children are stayed at home alone most of the time with electronic devices or TV as their nannies. And by trying to get in the position to have those equal rights as men, we are still having the issue that sexism exists, right? So as our parents taught us that we're supposed to be in a position of submission, little by little, domestic violence starts growing, where we as women start permitting men to have certain domination. So I guess that gender equity or gender equality starts at home by education, right? So at least here, there's different steps as a mother that you can teach your children to start looking at this different, not only by rights, but to do like the same chores at house. It's not bad that a boy can make their bed, can make their own food. Try to teach them that it's good to start promoting certain gender stereotypes in everyone that participates at the household, right? So giving them that opportunity, I think, will give them access to start valuing our gender, that we're
Wonderful.
capable to start growing as a society. And if we grow as a society, as a family, as teachers, as students, and we see each other as human beings, respect our rights, not criticize our peers just by the color of their skin, if they're female or male, we will start lowering down those emotional filters, and we start joining as a group. We're going to be manifesting teamwork, and we'll be more productive as a society. Right now, politicians are making a great advance on doing some legislations. Sadly, it's just a simulation. Even though we have more women at power positions, they're really, the people that are making the decisions are the same politicians, are the same, and you can see them because they're not giving them the tools to have that equity. Even though
Great.
they have the position, they don't make laws to give the same opportunities on labor, on health, even on workforce. So I
Wonderful.
think as women, we have to try to at least make sure that our daughters, our peers will have another set of abilities, of tools to improve and make an advantage or an advance on that equity problem, you know? Because at the same time,
Great.
we can be more productive in a globally matter.
Wonderful.
you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Diana. You have touched. One is a value. We must inculcate the value among the children as a mother. We must treat them equally for household work. And most important factor which I can take from you is we allow male to do dominance. So we have to be more strong from inside. This may be one of the factors which we can. Since we are talking about the gender equality, I will not be gender biased. So after Dr. Diana, I would like to invite Dr. Ruben. He is here as a male speaker, and then I will go to Dr. Marilia. Dr. Ruben from Peru. If you are not ready, may I take Dr. Mariela from Peru? Dr. Ruben? Anyway, let's take further few points. Gender equality is a matter of sensitivity, creating awareness, or it is a matter of practice. Matter of practice in the school scenario, in the household. Dr. Leonardo has explained two sectors. One is a defense and one was engineering. Towards engineering, there are the less number, and as well as towards defense forces, army, air force. I will try to narrate Indian situation. Indian Air Force has allowed few years back for females as a fighter pilot. We have a unit, but that unit serves only to the health segment and teaching segment. Still, majority of the labor work, engineering work, defense work is being offered to the male. And this ratio in coming time, if you look nurses, if you look teachers, majority is more. Gender equality is not a matter of equality in terms of muscles, in terms of power. Gender equality is a matter of concern. In the same house, maximum time we have seen, ladies are taking care of entire household work. There is less contribution of male. Do you think it is a male dominance? And we male have to come forward to share our responsibilities more in the household work? We are talking about the topic, so topic will not be complete just because of talk. So what do you think, Dr. Leonardo? In the household work, our responsibility is equal?
I suppose they should be. There has been a time where this kind of this gender inequality was even worse, where the men had to do the job and bring the money while the woman stayed at home. Thankfully, that's not the case anymore, right? We have equal chance. We don't actually have equal opportunity in the market yet, but we have to fight for that. But now we expect that both the man and the woman work and bring money to the household. So we should also expect that both men and women share the responsibilities inside the house. I believe that we must take responsibility.
Great.
And we have to share those duties and everything. Yes.
We must share.
Yeah.
Dr. Dinah, what is take at your end?
Come again, I got
My
an initial
question
mic.
was, in the household work, it is taken granted ladies are there to do the all house cooking and all. Male participate less. How we improve this situation?
As I already mentioned, I guess by teaching even making roles as a family, talking to your husband and letting him know that as both of us work, we have to have similar activities in the household. Because I'm the breadwinner too. So if we're bringing both money, if we're having less time because we are both having a profession, I think that the right thing to do is to have equal labor in the household.
Great.
But the main issue here is to teach our children the responsibility and set the example by sharing the tasks with our partner or husband.
So it is a matter of share and care. Great. Dr. Doris, you are on the screen. I want to take a small sentence at your end about gender equality.
Excuse me, I am here as a speaker.
It is an open comment. It is an open comment. What you justify role of a male and female in the society? They are doing all work together.
Okay, excuse me. Here in Colombia, it's a very important issue, the gender equality, because traditionally the countries in Latin America are very strong in ideas about machismo. I don't know how to traduce this, but it's the importance of the man in the make decisions and here in our institutions, we have a research group that treats these problems in the labor market because like as Claudia says, the difference to introduce to the labor market for the money we receive for the same job is the different, and it's important that make the policy to equilibrate this issue.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much for your insight.
Thank you.
A lady from Brazil, Renata, behind the screen. I cannot close this topic before taking your comment. Renata, what do you think? In teaching profession, ladies are more and more, especially in schooling. So they are biased. They can create the values in terms of educating boys. You are equal than girls, or still you find biasness in schooling?
Okay. We can realize with the past of the years, there are some important things happening between girls and boys really in their relationship at school, because the mothers are trying to do a good job raising their child, and we can see the boys respecting the girls more in the classroom. These changes are very important, the way they are treating the girls, and the girls are learning how to put themselves in a place of deserving of merit, of intelligence that they really deserve. So I think I prefer to think in the things in the good, on the bright side, right? If all the parents start doing this change, start teaching their boys to treat the girls, to teach the girls how to impose their personality, their intelligence in a respected form as well, I think the things are going to to get back to the trail, right?
Wonderful, wonderful, Renata. So after all, this healthy discussion we can take, we all are creation of the God. Male and female is a just biological identity. We are living on the same earth. We are equally responsible for any good as well as any bad conduct in the society. If the society is male dominated, of course, there should be awareness, and which we are trying to create. But there is a responsibility at the mother side also, who is the first teacher of child, who start teaching. Freud, one of the greatest psychologists, say what he says, what he has discussed: fathers towards daughter, love of fathers towards daughter, and mothers towards son is more because of biological opposite sex attraction. Since this topic is very, very delicate, we all are the equal part. We are living on the same earth. So who is going to take this responsibility? This responsibility is incomplete without each element of the society, starting from mother, coming to teacher, and after teacher, once you become husband or wife or a family member, the values which Dr. Dinah was talking about, mothers are the first teacher of the home. So equally, they have to train their boys and as well as girls. If a boy in the school is teaching to a girl, doing bad habits or anything, that boy will not do in their home. If he is not doing at home, why he is doing at outside home? Because a mother who is at home, the same mother or another lady is a teacher in the school. What I'm trying to tell, once male and female together, we all people, those who are attending this webinar, has same objective. Let's create a balance, happy harmony around the society, around the family. And if we make our family, our surrounding, our society, our schools happy, respecting to each other, I think the aim and objective of United Nations is going to be fulfilled. This was the small initiative of Global Educator Forum. I have my personal gratitude to Beatrice and Renata, those who are taking lead in this concern. My special thanks to the speaker, Dr. Dinah, Dr. Leonardo, Dr. Claudia, and I'm unable to connect two speakers from Peru. They has not been able to join due to their technical fault. But we'll take this journey forward. This journey is going to forward. Coming 6 months, we are going to discuss this topic on different days, different schedule, and all the views is going to be compiled in terms of a book where we share our experience, and that book will come 6 months time. We have to wait, and then we'll submit this all our views to United Nations. So thank you one and all, and this is time for Beatrice. She is a global coordinator for all projects of GEL. Over to you, and welcome to you, Beatrice, for your closing comment.
All right. Thanks to the Global Edu Leaders Forum, especially Chairman S.K. Singh, for the opportunity today to be here sharing ideas on the topic that is not limited as a webinar, but in attitudes. Gender equity is an ethical consideration with which one tries to apply measures to correct the historical imbalance between the genders. I'm going to say that I think about the subject. I know that many people will not like that, what I say, but as long as we keep valuing what happened in the past, we are expending energies to resolve the past. We need to focus on the present, act safely and cohesively on your decisions and ideas. It's just no accept the imposed situations, deserve gender equality, don't be victimized, make a difference, start with yourself. Demand with small attitudes inside your house. Don't accept being treated differently, because everyday activities inside your home are only the woman or the man who does. Washing the dishes doesn't take away a man's masculinity, just like changing a car tire doesn't make a woman less feminine. Do not accept work in a place where the wage for work performed pays less for a woman, when the title of the position is the same, where it is written that a man is smarter than a woman. Teach your child to respect girls and don't let the responsibility of the girl having to take care of sexist advances. We know that men and women complement each other widely. Men with reasoning, rational, and emotional, and the woman is emotional. That's why both complete each other. Equity is the quality that characterizes the fact of giving each individual or he or she deserves. In this sense, it appears as a synonym with nuances of equality. Equity is the act of giving each individual, however different they may be, what they deserve or have achieved. Thank you for all the participants, speakers, and Mr. S.K. Singh.
Thank you one and all. Let's take this journey forward. It is the dream of not mine, it is a dream of this Global Edu Leader Forum. Each member as a male and female is equal. They are just biologically different. They have the same heart, they have the same blood, they have the same eyes, they have the same nose. Their thoughts, respect towards other opposite sex must be taken into consideration, and this much I can take from this webinar. And we keep creating this awareness. Thank you for all speakers. Once again, thank you for all my viewers, those who are going to watch this program on social media, those who are watching right now, all the viewers, those who are going to watch, spread awareness. This is the first step of achieving anything. Alone we can do little, but together we can do so much. This is the dream which we must carry forward in the life. Thank you one and all. Bye-bye. Hope to catch you in the next episode with the next new energy.